Hey everyone, this is Mike, Lake Effect Games. We are running the Week 7 doubleheader of the 2025 Table Football League season as played on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football. Our first game is the 3-3 Salt Lake Mustangs visiting the 5-1 Roswell Destroyers. And our second game is the 5-1 Oklahoma WarHogs visiting the 4-2 Nashville Jacks. So, two good games. As always, halftime of the first game, we'll go over the scores. In between games, we'll go over stats and team records. And halftime of game 2, we will go over the Week 8 matchups. So, let's get started. Okay, so Salt Lake will get the ball first. And average field position for the Salt Lake Mustangs. The Mustangs' offense is semi-prolific, dynamic, solid, and semi-clumsy. And the Destroyers' defense is semi-staunch, punishing, meek, and semi-passive. First drive underway. 1-1-6. Prolific offense, yes. So running back busts through through heavy traffic for the score. That is a rushing touchdown to start this game off for the Mustangs. And that touchdown scored by Wallace Richardson. So I would guess that must have been a reverse, or a double reverse rather. Extra point. Just good. So the defending champs get on the board first. Average field position for the Roswell Destroyers. Their offense is secure, efficient, and undisciplined. And the Salt Lake Mustangs defense is semi-meek. Also, the Destroyers have a semi-electric punt return. 1-5-5. Secure offense, yes. Defenders rip at the ball during tackle, but the runner holds on. That is going to be a punt. So not the best start for this Destroyers offense, or this Destroyers team in general, rather. Oh, but could have a possible fumble. And we do not. So average field position for the Mustangs. Three, 4, 6. Great field position, no. Erratic offense or disciplined defense, no. So a field goal attempt for Scott Ray. Both teams have had, well, every team has had at least one game televised by now. That was the point of the first few weeks. And the kick is good. So it is now 10-0 Salt Lake. I believe both teams won their first televised game. And yes, they did. In fact, they were both on week 1. So kickoff and average field position for the Destroyers. Three-three-four. Solid offense, no. Mild or undisciplined defense, no. And that will be a punt. The Destroyers not used to having days like this already, where Derek Rogers has seen more field time than he's used to already. All right, so for a regular punt, that is average, I believe. Yes, receiving team takes over with average field position. Let's see if they can manage to widen the gap here. Well, no, they will not. That is a fumble. So first I will roll to see who caused it. Then I will roll to see who recovered it and where it goes. So Will Tatum with the force. And let's see, 16. Enzo Porter with the recovery. And the Destroyers will have it in great field position. So let's see if they can capitalize. 1-4-6. Getting a lot of ones is never good for my sheet here. A lot of red ones. Staunch defense, no. Ball carrier stiff arms the linebacker and sprints to the end zone. That is a touchdown run for the Roswell Destroyers. So let's roll for the runner. .43, that is Galen Vega with a touchdown run. And for the extra point, 64 and under. It's good. So the Destroyers chopping that lead down from 10-3. Kickoff. Average field position for the Mustangs. 126. This will be the last drive of the quarter. Reliable offense or meek defense? Yes, meek defense. QB is lucky that pass wasn't intercepted, so that's a punt. That will be the first punt for Guillermo Sandoval. .52, that is average for the Destroyers as we start the second quarter. The score is the Salt Lake Mustangs 10, the Roswell Destroyers 7. (1-1-2). Punishing defense, no. Soft defense, no. So that is a punt. Next year, because I like to keep my whole seasons in one book, although I may keep a second book sometimes for the between week stats. I need to get college ruled next time because wide rule just doesn't do it for a game. I mean, I've only once had to use reserve space, but all right. 33, that is poor field position for the Mustangs. Yes. (1-2-2). Home defense or undisciplined offense? That is the home defense. Crowd noise impacts drive. That is a backed up punt. So the Mustangs are going to have to punt from way back in their own end. 42. Long punt, but negated by nice return. Great field position. So, great for the Destroyers. Four, 5, 6. Let's see, dull offense, no. So that is a touchdown run for the Destroyers, who now take the lead. All right, 64. That's Ivan Harper, who is another receiver getting a rushing touchdown. He said, hey, the other guy can do it, so can I. And the extra point is good. With the Destroyers taking the 14-10 lead. Average field position for Salt Lake, who is now playing catch-up. 355. Prolific offense. Yes. He's through the hole and nobody's going to catch him. That is a touchdown run, and they are back on top. And that rushing touchdown is going to Elliot Quint. And the extra point is good. Score now 17-14. This is turning into one of those games. That kickoff means poor field position for Roswell. With 3 ticks left. .225, and that's going to be 3 ticks. Dull offense, no. Staunch defense, no. And that's another touchdown run, so the scoring has been back and forth late in the second quarter. And that's how we're going to end the first half. But first, let's get our... That's Vega again. So that's 2 today. And the extra point is just inside. So the score at the end of the first half, hold on one second. The score at the end of the first half is the Roswell Destroyers 21, the Salt Lake Mustangs 17. So halftime of the first game. Let's go over the Week 7 scores. The DC Majors over the Jersey City Wise Guys, 31-15. The Charleston Minutemen make short work of the Halifax Ice Dogs, 24-7. The Boston Banshees handle the Cleveland Coyotes, 33-27. The Buffalo Outlaws, in a pretty well-fought battle over the Baltimore Marauders, 37-27. Lexington, that's for the East. For the Central, the Lexington Cavalry over the Memphis Kings, 27-20. The St. Louis Archers over the New Orleans Swamp Crocs, 10-3. And San Antonio, the Marshals earn their way out of the Central Division basement, beating the Birmingham Red Tails 26-6. In the West, the Phoenix Howlers starting to claw their way back up in the division, beating the Anchorage Bears 31-21. The San Diego Silverbacks over the Dakota Devils 27-21. And finally, Los and Los, the Los Angeles Icons over the Las Vegas Blackjacks 23-3. That is our first game, first half. So let's get started with the second half, and the Destroyers will get the ball first. .52, so average field position for the Destroyers. 146. So another red 1. Staunch defense, no. Ball carrier, stiff arms a linebacker and sprints into the end zone. That's another touchdown run for the Destroyers. And so both teams doing what they do, but on the ground. And that is going to be Kendrick Marlowe with the touchdown. An extra point is good. And it is the Destroyers' turn to extend the lead. They are now up by 11. Score is 28-17. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Vega again. Average field position for Salt Lake. Five, 6, 6. So this might... Shaky offense, no. Staunch defense, yes. That is a staunch defense, as the PIP says so, for the Destroyers. The Destroyers' defense won't allow Casey Halpern and the receivers to get into a rhythm, so that is a punt. That's actually the first time I've said a quarterback's name so far today. The Roswell Destroyers quarterback is Keegan Dansby. Poor field position for that after that punt. That punt breaks a 4-possession scoring streak for the game, not a specific team. 1-2-5. Solid offense, no. Punishing defense, no. So that is a regular punt. .52, that is average field position for the Salt Lake Mustangs. .135, that is another fumble. So let's see. Oh, wrong thing. Caused by a cornerback. That's what I have for 66. So rolling it again. That is Paul Jones. And for the recovery, that's Tatum. So he's got a force and a recovery. Oh, I didn't roll the red one. Oh, possible touchdown. Nope. So average field position. So Tatum has a force and a recovery, just not on the same fumble. 3, 4, 6. Great field position, no. Erratic offense or disciplined defense, no and no. So a field goal attempt for the Destroyers. With a minute and a half, or a minute 15 left in the third quarter. 53 and under, and he's got it. Osvaldo Hudson. And the score after, well, the score is 31-17 Destroyers. Kickoff in average field position. If it's not a 1, then this drive will be going into the fourth quarter. 1-4-5. So at the end, okay, at the end of the third, the score is the Roswell Destroyers 31, the Salt Lake Mustangs 17. Okay, 1-4-5. Great field position? No. Inept defense? No. So a field goal attempt to at least try to get themselves some more points. 51 and under. And it's good. So Ray is 2 for 2 today. The score is 31-20. With the kickoff, average field position for the Destroyers. And this time they fumble it themselves. Good luck could not have come at a better time. Let's see. Fumble caused by Kyle Lemley. And recovered by Kevin Schaefer. Possible touchdown? No. Great field position. So the Mustangs have a chance to put some points on the board. 2-4-5. Dynamic offense or soft defense? They do have a dynamic offense. Offense moves into great field position re-roll. They're already in great. Well, it doesn't say not to do it if they're not already, it doesn't say not to do it if they're already there, so. And this one will be a 1 no matter what. 3, 4, 5. All right. 3, 4, 5. Dynamic or home offense? Yes. So a field goal attempt. Let me see if it's already time to start. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to go for the field goal right now. So Scott Ray looking for his third, and he's got it. So 3 for 3. And it's 31-23. Re-rolling this one because it's wonky. Average field position for Roswell. Two, 4, 5. Dynamic offense or soft defense? No. Porous offense? No. So a coffin corner punt. Once again, it went on the wall. 1 or 2 or 12. Ball lands in end zone for touchback. Receiving team has average field position. Excuse me. So, they need a touchdown and a 2-pointer. Two, 5, 6. Great field position, no. Home or disciplined offense, no. So they're going to go for it here. Five. Home offense, no. So that is a turnover on downs. And Roswell will have it in average field position to close this out. Unless they throw a pick 6. Three, 5, 6. Hey, if that black die had been a 1 or a 2, that could have just as much happened. Three, 5, 6. Disciplined offense. No. Sorry. Reliable offense or meek defense. No. That meek says no. So it is an interception. Wow. But it really depends on where this is going. That red die is going to mean a lot right now. Oh, they're not going to get that win. But that credit for that interception will go to Jerron Hopper. And that will be the game. The final score is the Roswell Destroyers 31, the Salt Lake Mustangs 23. So that was actually a pretty exciting game for me. I like that. The Destroyers move up to 6-1. And the Mustangs fall to 3-4. Okay. So give me a second to set up game 2. This is actually the second of a two straight week series. Oklahoma and Nashville. Last week, Oklahoma, they were both 4-1 at the time. And Oklahoma won 23-21, so a very close game. And this could go anywhere. And with two cards like this, I'm amazed that these two are fighting for first. So, for the East, for standings, we'll do standings first, then league leaders. In the East, the DC Majors and Buffalo Outlaws are both 6-1. The Jersey City Wise Guys at 4-3. The Charleston Minutemen, Boston Banshees, and Cleveland Coyotes at 3-4. The Baltimore Marauders at 2-5. And the Halifax Ice Dogs at 0-7. In the Central, the Oklahoma WarHogs and Nashville Jacks are respectively 5-1, 4-2. The Lexington Cavalry and St. Louis Archers are 4-3. The San Antonio Marshals, New Orleans Swamp Crocs, and Birmingham Red Tails are 3-4. And the Memphis Kings bringing up the rear at 2-5. In the West, the Roswell Destroyers have moved up to 6-1. The Los Angeles Icons are 5-2. The Salt Lake Mustangs, Dakota Devils, Phoenix Howlers, Las Vegas Blackjacks, and Anchorage Bears at 3-4. And the San Diego Silverbacks at 2-5. League leaders, passing touchdowns. In first is Buffalo's Oliver Jensen-Wright with 17. DC's Lonnie Jones with 14. Birmingham's Rashad Morris and Memphis Jamison Krasner tied at 13. And Las Vegas Dale Cardell and Los Angeles Chase Spencer tied at 12. And neither one of those scored a passing touchdown this week. Against each other, mind you. Rushing touchdowns. Baltimore's Benny Lowell still on top with 9. DC's Devin McKnight at 8. Birmingham's CJ Layton. And Los Angeles Quincy Hunt and Jermaine Dalby all tied at 7. Receiving touchdowns. Los Angeles Steven Cerna with 8. And a 4-way tie with 6 for second to fifth. Cleveland's Kyle Karstens, DC's Kendrell Hurdle, Dakota's Ellison Greenlake, and Vegas's Waylon Sharp. 3 quarterbacks with the least interceptions. And for a team that's 0-7, for Halifax, Ellis Rathburn to be one of the 3 that only have 2 interceptions on the season is amazing for a quarterback. So that tie for the 3 lowest is Ellis Rathburn, DC's Lonnie Jones, and Anchorage Danny Robinson. The 3 with the most are Boston's Nolan Rhodes, Los Angeles Rhodes has 12, LA's Chase Spencer has 10, and Las Vegas Dale Cardell has 9. So 2 of the quarterbacks on the top touchdowns list are also the 2nd and 3rd worst quarterbacks in terms of interceptions. Interceptions as a defensive stat. In first, DC's Edward Ashley with 6, and a 4-way tie with 5 with DC's Joseph Bobon, Anchorage Cornell Assay, Halifax Keith Neal, and Lexington's Carl Jackson. So Halifax is getting a lot of turnovers and not giving the ball away so much, and yet they are still winless. We'll figure that out at some point. Forced fumbles. Dakota's Joshua Rivera leads the league with 5, DC's Perry Griggs with 4, and a 6-way tie with 3, which I didn't have enough space to write them all down. So I just put 6-way tie with 3. Same thing with recoveries. Fumble recoveries, Buffalo's Roman Ochoa with 5, Birmingham's Edward Bagley with 4, Dakota's Joshua Rivera with 4, and a 6-way tie with 3. Time of possession, Jersey City leads the league, 231 minutes and 15 seconds. Otherwise, 185 tacks. Los Angeles Icons with 221 minutes and 15 seconds. That's 177 tacks. The Memphis Kings, 220 minutes flat. That's 176 tacks. Las Vegas Blackjacks with 218 minutes and 45 seconds. That is 175 tacks. And the New Orleans Swamp Crocs with 217 minutes, 30 seconds, or 174 tacks. Field goals. For scores, we'll get to percentage in a second, but scores. Buffalo's Zach Poole with 17 of 19. Wes Fuller, who is 15 of 15 for Charleston. Baltimore's Stephen Fleming, 14 of 16. Phoenix's Chris Witt, 13 of 14. And San Antonio's Bobby Price, 13 of 15. Field goals percentage at the top is we have 3 perfect kickers left. But going with how many field goals they've gotten, first is Wes Fuller, 15 of 15. Dakota's Mark Dunton, 12 of 12. And Anchorage Jamie Kelly, 10 of 10. So with 93%, 13 of 14 is Phoenix Chris Witt. And 92%, 12 of 13 is Boston's Isaiah Adams. Most points for is the DC Majors with 253. Least points for is the San Antonio Marshals with 84. Points allowed. Lowest is the Nashville Jacks with 79. And most is Halifax Ice Dogs with 254. And point differential. Best is a tie between the DC Majors and the Los Angeles Icons for plus 65. And the worst is the Halifax Ice Dogs, which is why they are 0-7, with a point differential of negative 131. That is pain. So we are about to begin the second game of our doubleheader. The Oklahoma WarHogs and the Nashville Jacks. So as we just witnessed, the Destroyers beat the Mustangs 31-23. Didn't write that down on my score list yet. All right. Let's see. Ball first. It will be Nashville getting the ball first, which could be good or bad depending on how you look at it. We'll definitely know by the third quarter. Oh, possible electric. No. But they will start with great field position. Nashville's offense is semi-erratic and clumsy. And the Oklahoma defense is semi-disciplined. Two, three, four. Dull offense, no. Staunch defense, no. So that is a touchdown pass, the first touchdown pass of this doubleheader. And that is 2. So that is Nate Russo. 2. Jalen Ritchie. I think that might actually be his first touchdown of the season. And the extra point is good. So Nashville to start with the 7-0 lead. But that doesn't always mean anything. It doesn't always mean. Like because Salt Lake started with a touchdown too. Let's see what Oklahoma can do as they start with average field position. Their offense is semi-porous and reliable. Nashville's defense is semi-stiff and punishing. 1, 2, 6. Reliable offense or meek defense? Yes. QB is lucky that pass wasn't intercepted, but they will have to punt. So that is Javon Johnston coming to kick the ball away. .65, that is great field position again. So this might be a long day for the WarHogs if it keeps up like this. So anyway, Nashville, in order to take the tiebreaker, they not only need to win today, but they need to win by 3 or more. So 1, 2, 5. Solid offense, no. Punishing defense, no. So that is a punt. So they were not able to capitalize on that great field position. 55, that's average. 336. Staunch defense, no. Stiff defense, yes. The semi-stiff is a yes. Defense breaks up long pass on third down, so that is a coffin corner punt. So that pip saved them a touchdown. 62. I believe for a coffin corner that is average. On a regular punt, it would be great. Again. So 2:30 left in the first quarter. 1-3-3. Prolific offense, no. Punishing defense, no. So that is a field goal attempt for Keegan Page. And he's got it. And he is 52 and under. That's a 24. And he is 1 for 1. So kickoff. Average field position for the WarHogs. Anything but a 1 will put us into the second quarter. .466. Staunch defense, no. So an impressive drive ends with a great pass and catch. Touchdown, WarHogs. But that will happen in the second quarter. At the end of the first, the score is Nashville 10, Oklahoma nothing. So Jackson West to Matthew Spinner. And with the extra point, 61 and under. No good. No good extra point. So the score is 10-6. I threw a toy mouse. The cat did not want it. No touchdown for the cat. Kickoff. Average field position for the Jacks. And that is going to be a fumble. So, who let it loose? 34. That is going to be Alex Screet, who has a few. And as for pickup and placement, 45, that's Screet again. And that is average field position for Oklahoma. And that one's intercepted. So they give the ball right back. So an interception, I only need to roll the white and black once because, well, it's not the same as a fumble. 32, that is Troy Barkley. And average field position for the Jacks. $155. Secure offense, no. Clumsy offense, yes. And that's another fumble. Both teams deciding, I really don't want this thing. As that is the third straight possession ending in a turnover. So Screet again with the force. And the recovery. Maybe I made Screet's ability to get fumbles too high, but he's knocked and grabbed both of them. Oh crap, I didn't roll. What did I roll for that red? Well, it's poor. And the refs are going to get a talking to after that one. Fans booing because that's probably not where the ball was placed. 5-5-6. Does not matter because we are at the end of the half. The score is Nashville 10, Oklahoma 6. The WarHogs will get the ball first in the second half. Okay, so week 8 matchups. We don't know what are going to be the we don't know what the week 8 doubleheader is going to be. And I'm going to put a few in a poll, a few matchups in a poll on the Fast Drive Football group on Facebook and let a vote decide. So Los Angeles Icons. Okay, this is also the second of 4 non-division matchups for the season. First was week 1. Week 8 is the second. Week 13 is the third. And week 18 is the last one. So the Los Angeles Icons face the Halifax Ice Dogs. That doesn't feel like it'll be one-sided at all. The Roswell Destroyers and the Cleveland Coyotes. The Oklahoma WarHogs and the Boston Banshees. The Anchorage Bears and the Charleston Minutemen. the Memphis Kings and the Salt Lake Mustangs. St. Louis Archers and the San Diego Silverbacks. The Phoenix Howlers and the Nashville Jacks. The San Antonio Marshals and the Dakota Devils. Jersey City Wise Guys and the Lexington Cavalry. The Buffalo Outlaws and the Birmingham Red Tails. The Baltimore Marauders and the Las Vegas Blackjacks. Now, they have faced off in the Video Game League's championship a couple of years ago. It was the 5th championship game in which the Blackjacks won. In fact, they are the first team ever to win 2 NAFA championships. Check out my Lake Effect Video Games channel for that league. A lot of the same teams, but not all of them. DC Majors and New Orleans Swamp Crocs. So, I'm going to put a few of those in a poll, and I'm going to play the ones that are not in the poll, and then when the poll is finished, I will play the ones that didn't get selected, and then the doubleheader will be the 2 that did. All right. So, third quarter. Score is 10-6 Jacks over the WarHogs. The WarHogs could actually lose and still stay in first if they manage to lose by 2 or less. So, average field position for the WarHogs. .145. Great field position, no. Inept defense, no. So a field goal attempt for Marvin Byrne, 52 and under. Gets it. And he is 1 of 1. And the score is now 10-9 Jacks. All right. 44. So that is average field position for the Jacks. That field goal also breaks that what do you call it? That turnover streak. 145 as well. Let's see if it's any different though, given the great field position, no. Inept defense, no. So that will also be a field goal attempt for Keegan Page. Getting a lot of threes. The last 1, 2, 3, technically 4, 5, 6 have been threes. The one only counted for 2 because it was the end of the half. So 52 and under for Keegan Page, and he's got it. That's his second of the day. And the score is now 13-9. Average field position for the WarHogs. Two, 4, 6. Dull offense, no. So the runner turns the corner and has nothing but daylight. That's a touchdown run for the Oklahoma WarHogs. That also breaks the 3 streak. And as far as runners, that is going to be Lucas Alfred. And they're the first team in this doubleheader to get both a touchdown rush and pass. There wasn't a single touchdown pass in the first game. And once again, failing the extra point. That is just wow. But they are in the lead. The score is 15-13, Oklahoma. What's funny is in the video game league, which the WarHogs are in, the Jacks are not. In the video game league, the WarHogs are one of my original 8. They've been around since 2018. And they have been one of the saddest stories in the league, as they've only made the playoffs once, and they were a one and done that year. All right. So, average field position for the Jacks. You know, the Jacks are not part of the video game league. They never have been. Some of the teams that I used a couple of years ago for this league were teams that I cut out of the video game league, like the Jersey City Wise Guys, the Toronto Ice Dogs, which I made Halifax, the Charleston Minutemen, Lexington Cavalry. I originally didn't want to. Okay, 244. We'll get more on that later. Poor field position, no. Inept defense, no. So a field goal attempt to try to retake the lead by a point. So I originally didn't want to use NAFA teams in the TFL. I mean, ones that were still active, but I like the 24 team setup, and I really couldn't come up with more teams. The field goal is no good. So Page with his first missed field goal of the night. He is now 2 for 3. And average field position for the WarHogs. 113. Poor field position, no. Inept defense, no. So a field goal attempt now for Marvin Byrne, his second. After this field goal, we've got a minute and 15 left in the third quarter. That field goal is good. So he is now 2 for 2. And the score is now 18-13 WarHogs. So it is still a one-score game, as long as that score is a touchdown. Average field position for the Jacks. But we saw this in the first game where one team went 10 points ahead and ended up losing the game pretty handily after that. 3-4-4, so this is going to go into the fourth quarter. And the score after 3 is the Oklahoma WarHogs 18, the Nashville Jacks 13. So 3-4-4. Mild or undisciplined defense? No. Defense comes through when needed with a big stop. So a coffin corner punt. Like, honestly, the WarHogs have just, to be honest, have had a better game. Like, since the start of the second quarter, it's been 18-3. All right, poor field position for the WarHogs. Five, 5-6. This is usually another touchdown. Poor field position, yes. So it'll be a field goal attempt. Effective attack moves ball downfield, but drive stalls in red zone. So with 10 minutes left, the WarHogs are going to try to... And he's got it. He gets 3 for 3. And the score is 21-13. So Marvin Byrne is 3 for 3 on field goals, but he is 0 for 2 on extra points. Sometimes it just happens. Average field position for Nashville. Who better do something quick. They are down by 8. 2-3-3. Solid offense, no. Mild defense, no. And that is not what they needed to do. That is an interception that is the exact opposite of what they needed. So chalk another one up to Nate Russo. So 66. That is Dominic Ingersoll. And they're going to be in great field position after this. Look, I found a lot of these names in the generator, okay? So even in the video game league right now, the WarHogs are like 0-3. So 4-5-5. Dull offense, no. The QB lunges across the goal line for the score. That is a touchdown run. And this might be about it for the Jacks. I don't think they have the time to fix it. That is Alfred with another touchdown run. He's now tied with Vega for 2 rushing touchdowns. Extra point. Let's see if Byrne can kick this problem, so to speak. And he's got it. (28-13). Uh-oh, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that was 4th. All right, average field position. So Nashville would need a touchdown with an extra point, a successful onside play, which TFL uses the fourth and forever, and then another touchdown and 2-pointer, and both drives 3 total ticks. And doesn't matter, it's over now. Neither team is efficient, so this one is over. And your final for game 2 is the Oklahoma WarHogs 28 and the Nashville Jacks 13. The WarHogs move up to 6-1 and the Jacks fall to 4-3. That is it for week 7. I hope you enjoyed. This is the Table Football League played on Al Wilson's Fast Drive Football. You can find Fast Drive Football materials on 3d6-gaming.com. Stuff you find on there is free to download. There are some not-for-profit charities on the page. If you wouldn't mind donating to one or some of them, that would be awesome, and you help a lot of people. So until next time, enjoy your game. This is Lake Effect Games, Mike, saying thank you and goodbye.